Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing the best Viper executes on the map Split. As always, the goal for this video is to get you to use all of your utility really early from a safe place that allows you and your team to get on site efficiently and as safely as possible. So let's go and get into the video. So for Split execute number 1, we're going to be doing A side through long. I think this is the most effective execute. For this map, what you're going to be doing is this corner right here lines up with the corner of the glass building behind it, and you're going to go to the third white line up. And you're going to aim at the third white line in line with where the second line ends. And if you look at the teal arrow in the top left really quick, whenever you're aiming directly at it in the right spot, you'll see the teal arrow go all the way across into heaven. If you're aiming just too short, it'll look like that. If you're aiming too high, it'll start to creep its way back down as well. So you want to be aiming directly on the third line above where the second ends. For your smoke, you're going to come to this flower pot, tuck yourself in the corner, and then you're going to aim where this long diagonal line meets the glass. It's just a quick jump throw. Your snake bite is actually going to be from the same exact spot, aiming at the second or the lowest railing right here. Just aim at that, shoot it. And that'll clear out your balcony. Your ramps get smoked off by that. Your heaven gets smoked off there. This gets poisoned off, and your screens get smoked off as well. So the only thing you're worrying about is this angle right here, which is rarely played, this angle, which is rarely played, and then you're taking sight one angle at a time. But you want to make sure you take control of sight and then look back towards heaven, because whenever the smoke pops, someone will probably be looking towards you. So by execute number 2, we've got B side through garage, and what you're going to do is prep your curtain by coming to the back of this fan, and then just right up above this satellite dish. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you're going to throw it right there so it blocks off CT and the sight. And your smoke is going to be on the back left of this corner, and then in between these two corners right here, slightly brought down to the bottom right. Not by much, just by a little. And then your snake bites are going to be along this line right here. One's going to be slightly below this light, so you're going to be slightly below where the light actually is, and then crept off to the left just a little. And then your other one is going to be all the way down here, right where these lights actually start to fade. And that one doesn't have to be perfect because you have a lot of leeway with that one. And I'll show you where they all land. Your back sight is actually completely poisoned off, so they can't play there. And as you're coming through onto sight, your heaven's taken care of, your drop down, and everything else that's actually on site is taken care of. The only thing to worry about is balcony. And then realistically, if a jet's playing up there or close by here, but that's the only things you really have to worry about. So instead of doing split execute number 3, what I actually want to do is show you a few different mid mix-ups you can throw into your arsenal, because this map can really be dominated by really strong defenders that lock down sites. So to play around that, you have to take mid control and exploit the fact that they're using all of their utility to take control of those sites. So you play a little slower, throw in some mid mix-ups, that way they can't do what they want to do essentially. Force them to react to you. So mid mix-up number 1, I throw this pretty much every time I'm playing mid solo. So what you want is your team, whenever they're playing or pressuring other sites pretty heavily, like you have 3A or 3B going through garage, what you can do is line yourself up with this barrier, tuck yourself off to the right, and you're just going to try to clear the right side of this building and aim up until you're in line with this antenna. As soon as the round starts, you throw it, and it lands freely in mid. So what this is going to do is whenever your team starts to pressure, the person in mid is going to feel really useless because he's peeking nothing and he feels like someone's going to aggress on him. So a lot of times he'll over-rotate, giving you free mid control, or whenever this toxin comes down, you can be peeking an off angle that he doesn't expect and have the upper advantage on him anyway. So mid mix-up number 2, we've got the same exact lineup. You're going to be on the right side, tucked up into the barrier. And what you're going to do this time, you still want to clear the right side of this, but you want to aim all the way up until you're in this pocket by the wooden peg, whatever you want to call it, the roof. As soon as the game starts, you're going to press W and throw immediately. It's just a little run and throw. That should get nice and deep into mid. And then what you're going to do is with your smoke, immediately turn around, and you want to smoke off as close to backside as possible. That way it's at a nice angle and he can't get an angle on you whenever you're up in heaven. So what this does is blocks off your ropes and allows you to just take one angle at a time going into heaven. You have a lot of people to come trade kills with you. And then once you're actually in here, this stops the person back sight from getting perfect headshot angles on you. So all you have to do is clear out heaven and then close cubby, and then you essentially have sight for free. So mid mix-up number 3, what you're going to do, you don't actually need a lineup for this. So you're going to come tuck yourself off right here. Don't over peek to where you can actually get shot, but you're going to want to aim above this railing right here. That way it doesn't hit this crease, it actually lands on the wall. So a good bit above the railing actually works. You're just going to do a running throw, and it gets nice and deep into heaven. That way your team can take a ropes push, and what you're going to do after your team pushes out onto mid, you're going to take your curtains, and then you're just going to throw it to the right of this building up in the air. That way, whenever your team actually does take ropes and they push all the way into sight, you have their ramp cut off, and you have their the person who played aggressive, you have this cut off, so they don't have to worry about anyone peeking them there, and you have this cut off, so they don't have to worry about a quick peek there whenever they're coming onto site. It's just a little bit of added protection because this is a risky strat anyway. Now keep in mind with those mid mix-ups, they shouldn't be relied on heavily, and they're really just what I throw in there whenever the enemy team is really using their utility to hold down the site early. I can throw those in there and play super aggressive and try to catch them off guard. It's also good for ecos whenever you know your team has to go get a couple trade kills. That way you're then holding the sites with weapons instead of just holding it with pistols with a safe take. They're really just a super aggressive way to try and get a cheeky round on your opponents. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and a subscription down below because I do this type of stuff every single day. As always, my Twitch is in the description if you want to see me use some of these strats live or you had any questions you wanted to ask me. But as always, thanks for stopping by, boys, and peace out. Have a good day.
And I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands where